this is the actual question 14 on the ACP. The other one I presented to you was incorrect, but just look at it as a bonus question. So question 14, Sammy opened a college savings account. She opened the account with $85 and then deposited $45 each month. Which equation best represents the relationship between M, the monthly number of monthly deposits Sammy made, and S, the total amount in Sammy's college savings amount? Alright, this question's basically setting up an equation. You can view it as M or X, it doesn't matter, however you want to say it. So we're going to use M as our variable. Okay, we know that his account had $85, so 85, and then he deposits, so he's going to get another 45. When you deposit something, you're going to keep that money, so it's a positive 45 each. When we see each, we want to put an X through it, signifying that it is a variable. So we'll put M because that's our proper variable. So there's your equation, and then S is the total amount. So first thing you see is that we know it's positive because you deposit, you receive it. A is out. B is also a minus, so we need B is out. So we're left with C and D. The only answer choice that matches it exactly is going to be D. And a lot of people are going to argue that it's C because they see the order. You see 85 first and they see 85 here. But there's no variable behind it. So therefore the answer is D. Alright, this is the real question 15 on the practice ACP. It says, which equation representation does not show y as a function of x? Okay, as you know, that we need to if we see a function, we're going to get rid of all my y's and see if any of my x's repeat. So I get rid of my y's here. So I have 2, -3, 6, 4. Therefore, that is a function. The next one, we're going to get rid of all my y's on this side. We're going to count the arrows. There's 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1. Since there's 2 here, it cannot be a function. Therefore, this is not a function. If I wanted to continue, I'll just look at C real quick. We do something called the vertical line test. We draw a straight line down. If it crosses it more than one time, it is not a function, but it only crosses the x-axis one time. Therefore, that is a function. So the answer on that one is B. Question 17 on the practice ACP. So this one's talking about Noah depositing $500 into account A, which earns 5% simple interest. Okay, and then he deposits $500 into account B, which earns 4.5 simple interest, compounded interest. Now he doesn't make any withdrawals or total deposits. The total amount of money we'll have it in 5 years. So we know it's total, and we know it's 5 years. So looking at each one, he has $500. It's 5%, and we know it's simple interest. Next one's $500, 4.5%, and compound interest. Now we're not worried about what's up here. He has $1,000. We know that. Good for him. But we have I equals PRT. We get this from our reference sheet. Okay. We know that the P is going to be 500. The interest rate is going to be 5%. We move it over 2 times to the left. It's 0.05. And then it's going to be multiplied by 5 years. We multiply all that, we're going to get a total of 125. Now, here's a question I have. Is that the total or is that just the interest? Well, that's just the interest. We want to know the total amount of all of it. So we have to add back the principal. Once we do that, we're going to get 625. Yes, 625. And that looks like C, but is that the end of the problem? No, it is not. So that's just that C answer is just if the simple interest. Next one we're going to do is compound interest. So it's going to be I'll write it up here. A equals P1 plus RT. The principal is going to be 500. We're going to do 1 plus, we're going to put actually it says 4.5, so we know that's 4.5, so we're going to change 4.5 to a, it is a decimal, but we want to change it, it's a percent, but we want to change it to a decimal, it's 0.045. Then we know it's 5 years. So we're going to do 500 times 1 plus 0.045 to the 5th power. Once we do that, we're going to get 623.09. Now we have this, and we have this. We know that it's not D. We're going to take this total and this total, add them together. So add them. Once we add them, we're going to get an answer of 1,248.09. Question 18 on the Practice ACP. So for some reason this problem is very, very, very simple, but it complicates people when they first see it. Okay, so it's talking about the slope of two hypotenuses. First thing you need to identify, if you don't remember, a triangle has 3 sides. The hypotenuse is its longest side. So that's the hypotenuse. What's basically happened is you have one triangle here, and then you have another one. So we have one in red, and then we have the one in blue. So 2 triangles. Now, what it's talking about is the slope. We're talking about the slope line. I'll outline that. Let's outline that in black. Or you know what, better colors, do orange. So slope line is right here. It's basically saying if you have a hypotenuse of this triangle, you have one triangle in here, and then you have another triangle out here, what happens with the hypotenuse? Is it the same with the slope? Are they the same? What's going on? Well, let's look at it. It says one of the answers says it's more steep. The reason why it's not more steep is because they're the same. The next one says it's less steep. The reason why it's not less steep is because the lines are the same, the steepness of the lines. So the answer has to be equal to. Yes, we know that there is no relationship. We know that, but that's not our answer choice. With no relationship, less steep is out, and more steep is out. So the only answer choice is C. If they ask something like this, they're asking about the steepness of a line and talking about hypotenuse, and it's asking what is true, okay, then yes, it is equal. Question 19, last question on the Practice ACPs. This one's saying Gabriel invested $8,000 in an account, earns 4.5% interest compounded annually. Gabriel does not make any additional deposit or withdrawals. Approximately how much interest will you earn on investment at the end of 5 years? So 4.5% interest, $8,000. Principal, interest rate, 5 years. We want to know what's happening. Is it simple, compound? It is compound. It says it in the actual problem. So you have to make sure and identify that. Now, what we have here is we're going to do this compound interest formula, which is going to be on our reference sheet as A equals P1 plus RT. Now, what we have here is the principal is going to be $8,000. The rate is going to be 4.5, but we know to move the decimal over 2 times to the left. So we're going to make 0.045. And then we know that is end of 5 years, so 5 years. So once we do all that, we multiply it out. We're going to get 9,969.46. Now, that's not what it's asking us. It's asking us approximately, we almost forgot, and I almost forgot myself, how much interest. So if you remember back when we talk about compound interest, it's when it says interest, okay, compound interest is basically the total, so it's adding the interest on top of the principal. But we just want the interest, so what we're going to have to do is take our principal and subtract it from the 9,969. They added this extra step to try to trick us. So be wary of this. Make sure you read the whole problem. So we're going to take 9,969.46 and subtract from $8,000. Once we do that, okay, please do it in the calculator. You don't have to do it manually because you may forget to line up the decimals, but that's okay. 8,000, you're going to get 1,969.46. Therefore, the answer is exact, and it's B. And that concludes our ACP review.